We're here in downtown Victoria, the capital of British Columbia, and this is the bay, and look at that, we have an incredible rainbow all the way across the city landscape. This apparently is the world famous Empress Hotel over here to the right.
Lots of well-known people have stayed here over the years. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Charles, Rita Hayworth, Roger Moore, Catherine Hepburn, even Shirley Temple.
And then beautiful rainbow. And then I'm standing across the street from the provincial buildings where the Parliament is. At the moment the sun's directly behind it, so I can't really capture how amazing it looks. It's got beautiful architecture.
The building is open to the public to have a wander around, or you can take a guided tour. It's about 35 minutes. It's free, and the building's open Monday to Friday for this, and I believe in the summer they extended to 7 days a week. The Memorial Rotunda. It's a 100-foot ceiling of a Renaissance-style dome. The open circle is adorned with 4 paintings representing British Columbia's first industries of farming, fishing, mining and forestry. If you're so inclined, you can observe the debates from the public gallery in here. The Diamond Jubilee window was crafted to celebrate the 60th year of Queen Victoria's reign. The ceremonial entrance is only used for special occasions. It was used in 1983 when the Queen Elizabeth II visited. Our downtown area of Victoria is relatively small. It has retained some of its historic architecture, and it's a very pedestrian friendly area just to take a wander and look at all the beautiful buildings. It was a bit of a rainy day when we visited Victoria. And one of the things we did miss out on visiting was Beacon Hill Park. Apparently this is 200 acres of beautiful landscape gardens and ponds, and the ponds are loaded with ducks and peacocks. A great spot for a picnic or to grab an ice cream and just relax for a bit. The next stop is Goldstream River in Goldstream Provincial Park. It's just 30 minutes northwest of Victoria.
Salmon spawning. This is the salmon spawning. It's sort of near the end of the season, I believe, so you can see quite a few live ones out there, but there's also quite a few dead ones.
Depending on the species, salmon spend about 1 to 5 years in the open ocean, where they gradually become sexually mature. It's estimated that out of 1,000 eggs laid by the female, only one survives to return from the ocean to their natal home or their natal stream for spawning. The male arrives first to stake out territories, and when the female arrives, the spawning process begins. The female initiates spawning by digging a shallow nest for her eggs in the gravel. After she's ready, the female signals that she's ready to lay her eggs by touching her anal fin to the gravel, and the winning male joins the female, and side by side they release their sperm and eggs. Most of the salmon stop eating when they return to the fresh water and have no energy left after spawning to do the return trip back to the ocean. For most species of salmon, spawning is the final act in their life cycle. The salmon die within about a week of spawning.
So we're in a old sawmilling town just outside of Duncan, Chemainus I think it's called, and out there is a logjam, so that's where they float the logs down the river, just sitting and waiting in the river until they go to the sawmill or to the pulp mill. Thought we'd see a lot more of this, but I think it's the time of year they don't really have a lot of log jams and stuff.
We had a visit to the little charming town of Chemainus, and in particular we came for the mural walk. The town was established in 1858 and forestry was the principal industry. And towards the end of the 1970s, concerns grew on the economic future of the town, only having the one industry. And has been such a pretty little spot, was already popular with tourists and day trips to the town. So what the community did is they chose to focus more on tourism. Thus the Mural Society was formed and work got started on the murals that are around the town. I think there's about 44 of them at present. The subject of the murals is the community's heritage, reflecting the history of the First Nations people. Forestry is the subject of many of the murals, and while others reflect the experience of working and living there. Between the murals and sculptures, this is Canada's largest outdoor art gallery.
Waiting for the whistle.
The whistle inventor, that guy, Bob Swanson.
As you can see, there's a lot of murals around the township in Chemainus, and the Society's done a really good job. So I would highly recommend a visit if you're in Vancouver Island. Just do yourself a favour and visit Chemainus. can hear it, can't see it. North of Duncan is Little Qualicum Falls in the Little Qualicum Provincial Park. Oh yeah. Oh wow. The Provincial Park was originally established to protect the old growth of Douglas fir trees. It really is a beautiful spot to take a walk and look at the falls. There's a collection of vantage points along the way, and it's quite an easy walk as well. There's a cute little bridge up there.
Very astute about the logs in the river, because that's how most fishermen drown when they're drifting in their rafts. Is they come around the corner, there's a big log across the river, and you get sucked under there.
Something so mesmerising just watching the water flowing down. The park itself has around 6 kilometres of maintained walking trails. Not far from the falls is a little town called Coombs. We came here to go to the old country market. The little store is amazing for what they stock, and the food is so yummy.
This little place here is an amazing store, and it usually has goats on the roof eating the grass, but this time of year they bring the goats in. Obvious reasons, it's cold and wet. But yeah, it'd be pretty cool to see.
Our next stop along is Cathedral Grove in the Macmillan Provincial Park. It's one of the most accessible stands of Douglas fir trees on the island, and it's about 2 hours north of Victoria. Some of the trees in here are more than 800 years old. We spent a lot of time gazing up, being in awe of the size of the trees. We hugged a few and generally just took in the beauty of this area.
This is all old growth forest area, so never been logged. All these logs fell in 1997 and had a really severe windstorm through the area. But unlike some of the other forests that we've been to so far, which are second growth, which means they've been logged and then replanted, here you can see like the size and the thickness of some of these trees, the trunks and the bark. They like stretch on for a long way up into the sky. It's quite, the colours are amazing. A long way up.
Time for some curling.
Well, that's where you put the feet to start.
Okay.
So that's in the hack, what they call the hack. You slide, and then you have to let the rock go by the time you get to the end of the line there, right?
Oh, okay.
So it has to be gone by the time you cross the line, and then your scores count anything in the ring, right? But if it gets below this line, it's out.
So you got to get that,
Yeah,
slide
so
that
the way
right
it
up
works
the other.
is everybody throws a rock one at a time, each team, right? So as you build up your scores, Skip, who throws the last, which is normally your best curler, because he's the one that's going to score the points, basically.
It's sort of like lawn bowls.
Yeah.
So this lady's an ex-Olympic curler, and on a Sunday at Duncan you can go down and
Get one on both.
and practice. So if you're a newbie and you want to try it, this is the time to do it. And this lady kindly she gave us some instruction, free of charge. Also, curling in Canada is quite an affordable sport. I think it gets fairly heavily subsidised by the government. It only costs maybe, I think it was $3 or $4.
Why don't you use two presses? Don't fall down. Lay back. Lift your body end up. And then lift it back.
Scary.
It doesn't matter if the rock doesn't make it to the other end. The whole idea is your body momentum carries the rock, and then you just release it.
Oh, you're getting hot, are you?
Yep.
No kidding. You'll be sipping shore tomorrow.
Yeah.
Places that you wouldn't know you had. Leave that one there. Don't need that one. You got a rock now. Are you going to use that thing, or are you going to use... just try it with your foot. Yeah. Move it slowly. Slide it right down the middle of the... right down this center line here. So your foot... see how big. That one. That one. Forward. That one. There you go.
Yeah, it's very slippery.
I'm going to put this foot down. Yes. Always that foot.
Push hard. Hey. It's definitely not as easy as it looks, that's for sure. Push hard. You let go. Get down lower. Gotta get your back leg right out, yeah.
That was nice actually, Sophie.
From squatting,
Wanted the Canadian
it's like squatting here.
Canadian experience. It doesn't get much
But
more
this-
Canadian.
This leg here is like, oh. Getting back's the problem.
You gotta go to the side.
So keep it in front. That's really surprisingly very energy. It's surprisingly energy intensive. Oh wow. Different muscles you need for fitness. It's stuck. It sticks. You gotta keep moving it, yeah. You didn't let go.